What would you do if you woke up tomorrow and nobody owned your time? No alarm, no boss, no rent deadline, no glowing screen telling you what to fear, just your body, your breath, your tribe, and one terrifying question. What should I do today? At first, the answer seems obvious. Survive. Find food. Avoid predators. Do not die. That is the picture we usually imagine. Ancient humans crawling through a brutal world. Hungry, dirty, desperate. Always one mistake away from death. But that answer is too simple. It is the false answer. Because when we look deeper, the story changes. For most of human existence, our ancestors were not trapped in a permanent panic. They were not working all day. They were not grinding from sunrise to sunset. They were not building careers. They were not asking how to become productive. They were asking where the animals had gone, who had seen ripe berries, who needed help, who had a story worth hearing, and sometimes they were asking nothing at all. They were just sitting, watching smoke curl into the sky, feeling the sun on their skin, existing, without needing permission. For around 300,000 years, this was the human world, not offices, not factories, not school bells, not time cards, not resumes, not the idea that your life must be measured by output. That came later, much later. Modern humans may spend around 90,000 hours of life working. That is almost 1/3 of waking life. A massive slice of existence handed over to a system. But for almost all of human history, jobs did not exist. There was no employment, no wage, no boss, no promotion, no weekend, no retirement plan. And here is the strange part. The absence of jobs did not mean endless suffering. It may have meant something closer to freedom. Not perfect freedom, not easy freedom, but a kind of freedom modern people barely understand. So what did ancient humans actually do all day? The first answer is food. But even that answer hides a deeper truth. In the 1960s, researchers studied hunter-gatherer groups who still lived in ways that helped us understand pre-agricultural life. One of the most famous studies looked at the Juhwansi people of southern Africa. The findings shocked the modern world. Adults were not spending every hour hunting and gathering. They were often spending roughly 15 to 20 hours a week getting food, not 80, not 60. Not even 40, around 15 to 20. That does not mean life was a vacation. It does not mean hunger never happened. It does not mean danger was not real. But it does mean the old image is wrong. Ancient life was not always a desperate race against starvation. In many places, survival did not consume the whole day. That is the deeper reveal. The ancient human did not wake up and march into a prehistoric office. The ancient human woke up into a living world, a world that demanded skill, awareness, memory, cooperation, and patience. Imagine it. Dawn arrives, not as an alarm, but as light. The camp is quiet. A fire from last night still breathes under ash. Someone nudges it back to life. A child coughs. An elder sits up slowly. Dogs are not everywhere yet. Horses are not bridled. Fields are not planted. Cities do not exist. The world is open. You wake because your body is ready. You stretch. You listen. Wind through grass. Birds. Insects. A baby crying. A few voices beginning to murmur. Breakfast is not a rushed thing you eat while thinking about work. It is leftovers from yesterday. Maybe roasted meat, maybe fish, maybe roots, maybe berries, maybe nuts cracked with stone. You eat with others. Because food is not just calories. Food is social glue. A person who eats alone all the time is in danger, not from hunger only, from isolation. Because in the ancient world, your social bonds are your bank account, your insurance, your police, your hospital, your retirement. If people trust you, you live better. If people dislike you, your life gets harder fast. So the day begins with people, not productivity. People. A few adults discuss tracks seen near the water. Someone says the fruit trees north of camp are almost ready. Someone else complains that a person took too much meat last night. People laugh. People argue. People remember. The plan forms loosely, not like a meeting, more like a shared instinct. Some will leave, some will stay, some will hunt, some will gather, some will watch children, some will repair tools, some will do almost nothing. And that matters, because not everyone goes out every day. If food was found yesterday, there may be no need. If meat is still available, the pressure drops. If plants are in season, gathering can be easier than hunting. If the weather is bad, people wait. Ancient survival was not just work, it was timing. You had to know when not to waste energy. This is something modern life teaches us to forget. Modern life rewards constant motion. Ancient life rewarded wise motion. Move when movement matters. Rest when rest protects you. The lazy person in the modern office might get judged, but the person who wastes energy in the ancient savannah might die. So ancient humans rested. A lot, not because they were weak, because rest was strategy. Now imagine you stay in camp. Your hands are busy. You sharpen a stone edge. You smooth a spear shaft. You scrape an animal hide. You twist plant fibers into cord. You shape a basket. You repair a net. You check a fire. This is work, but not work as we know it. There is no clock, no manager, no artificial deadline, no performance review. You are making things because skill keeps you alive, and skill gives you status. In a small tribe, everyone sees what you can do. A sharp spear matters. A strong basket matters. A clean hide matters. A good knot matters. Competence is visible. Respect is earned in the open. But still, the rhythm is different. You stop when your hands ache. You talk while you work. You laugh. You teach a child. You listen to an older person correct you. You are not trying to become a brand. You are trying to remain useful. Trying to remain connected. Trying to belong. And if the hunters leave, their day is not like a movie. It is not endless, screaming and spear throwing. Much of it is walking, watching, reading the ground, a broken twig, a print in dust, droppings, a smell, vultures circling far away, a disturbed patch of grass. The ancient human mind was built for this, not inboxes, not spreadsheets, not 30 browser tabs, tracks, weather, faces, fire, memory, danger. That was the original information system. Some hunts used ambush. Some used traps. Some used group pressure. Some may have used persistence hunting. A slow, punishing chase under heat. Humans are strange animals. We are not the fastest. We are not the strongest. We have no claws. No fangs worth bragging about. But we sweat. We breathe well while moving. We can carry water. We can follow. We can endure. Many animals sprint and overheat. Humans keep coming, slowly, patiently, like a curse with feet. That is one of our ancient powers, not speed. Persistence. A hunt could take hours. It could fail. It often failed. Failure was normal. That is why sharing mattered. No one can succeed every day. Today I feed you. Tomorrow you feed me. That is not charity. That is survival mathematics. The tribe is the storage system. The tribe is the refrigerator. The tribe is the safety net. When meat comes back, the camp changes. People gather. Children stare. Tools come out. The animal is cut. Fat is prized. Organs are eaten. Bones are cracked. Nothing is wasted. Food becomes ceremony without needing a priest. Everyone watches who shares fairly. Everyone remembers who grabs too much. Generosity becomes reputation. Reputation becomes survival. This is another deeper reveal. Ancient humans did not only survive because they were tough. They survived because they were social. A selfish genius alone in the wild is just meat waiting to happen. A decent person inside a trusted group has a chance. By early afternoon, the most demanding part of the day may already be finished. And this is where modern people get confused. Because if the food is handled, if the tools are good enough, if the fire is alive, if no immediate danger appears, then what happens? Nothing and everything. People sit in shade. They talk. They tease. They groom hair. They remove insects. They play with children. They flirt. They nap. They carve. They sing. They decorate. They stare into distance. They let the mind wander. To a modern person, this can look like wasted time. But that is because we were trained to fear stillness. Ancient stillness was not empty. It was where the human mind stretched, where memory formed, where friendships deepened, where children learned by watching, where grief was shared, where jokes created trust, where the group became more than bodies near a fire. This is why ancient art matters so much. Because art should not exist if every day was only terror. Art means time. Art means attention. Art means a mind with enough space to imagine. Deep inside ancient caves, people painted animals with astonishing care. Horses, lions, rhinoceroses, bison, creatures moving across stone as if the wall itself were alive. Nobody paints like that if every second is spent running from death. Somebody stood in darkness, holding light, breathing smoke, planning lines, mixing pigment, remembering the curve of an animal's back. This was not food. This was not shelter. This was meaning. And meaning is not a modern invention. It is ancient, older than cities, older than writing, older than kings. Long before humans wrote laws, they drew animals. Long before they built temples, they entered caves. Long before they printed money, they made beads. In South Africa, ancient people collected shells and drilled holes through them. Tiny objects, difficult work, not necessary for survival. Yet someone did it. Someone walked for shells, selected them, pierced them, strung them, wore them, or gave them away. Why? Not because it helped them outrun a predator. Because humans care how they are seen. Humans signal identity. Humans create beauty. Humans say, this is me, this is us. Even in the deep past, style existed. Maybe status existed. Maybe romance existed. Maybe memory existed. A bead could mean belonging. A mark could mean family. A carved bone could mean a story. And then there was music. Imagine a bone flute, small, fragile, carved from a bird bone, finger holes spaced with care. A tool for sound, not cutting, not killing, not digging. Sound. Someone made music in the Ice Age. Think about that. A world of cold winds and dangerous animals. And still, somebody wanted a song. That is not a side detail. That is the human secret. We are not only survival machines, we are meaning machines. Give us safety for a moment, and we make rhythm. Give us a wall, and we draw. Give us shells, and we decorate. Give us darkness, and we tell stories. Then evening comes. The sun lowers, the air cools. The fire grows important again. People gather closer. Faces glow orange. Daytime talk fades. The practical world softens. At night, the human mind changes. This is when stories take over. During daylight, people talk about tracks, plants, weather, food, fairness, problems. At night, they travel farther. Not with feet, with imagination. They speak of ancestors, spirits, impossible animals, old hunts, lost people, tricksters, origins, warnings, jokes. Fear becomes story. Memory becomes lesson. The unknown becomes shape. A child hears how the world began. A teenager learns what courage means. An adult laughs at a story told many times before. An elder becomes a library with a heartbeat. This may be where culture truly lived, not in documents, not in monuments, but around fire, in voices, in repetition, in the shared dark. And sleep itself was different. Modern people often think 8 hours must happen in one block. Wake at 2 a.m. and you panic. You call it insomnia. You check your phone, you worry about tomorrow. But before artificial light, many humans likely slept in 2 phases. First sleep, then a quiet waking period, then second sleep. That middle darkness may not have felt like failure. It may have been normal. A time for whispering, thinking, sex, prayer, dream talk, watching embers breathe, a strange calm space between 2 sleeps. Modern life stole even our nights. It compressed them, lit them, scheduled them, turned darkness into inconvenience. So the ancient day might look like this: 4 to 6 hours for food, tools, movement, and practical survival. Many hours for social life, stories, children, rest, repair, play, art, observation. Then sleep in a rhythm shaped by fire and darkness. Not perfect, not easy, but deeply human. Then came the Great Trap, agriculture. Around 10,000 years ago, some humans began planting seeds and domesticating animals. At first, it looked like an upgrade. More food, more control, more storage, more babies surviving. But that was the bait. Because more food creates more people. More people require more food. More food requires more farming. And soon, there are too many mouths to go back. The field becomes a cage without walls. Now you must plant. You must weed. You must harvest. You must guard. You must store. You must defend. You must obey seasons. You must protect land. You must worry about failure months before hunger arrives. The wild had danger, but the field created debt to the future. Your ancestors once followed food. Now food waited in one place, and that meant humans had to stay. Settlements grew, property mattered, surplus appeared, then hierarchy, then rulers, then soldiers, then priests, then taxes. Then labor demanded by people you might never meet. The human day changed, not overnight, but permanently. Bones tell the story. Early farmers often became shorter. Their teeth suffered from grain-heavy diets. Their joints carried marks of repetitive labor. Their bodies paid for civilization. The old freedom was traded for population growth. Security improved in some ways, but time disappeared. Then specialization grew. Some people made pots, some tools, some cloth, some weapons, some rules. Eventually, jobs were born, and with jobs came a strange new idea. Your time could belong to someone else, not for an afternoon, not because your tribe needed help, but every day, for years, for decades, in exchange for survival tokens, money, wages, permission to eat inside the world we built. That is the final reveal. You are not tired because humans are meant to live like this. You are tired because humans are ancient bodies inside a new machine. Your nervous system was shaped around firelight, faces, movement, weather, hunger, rest, story, touch, silence. Now it faces calendars, rent, metrics, notifications, artificial light, constant comparison, endless goals. You chase success because the system tells you that you are unfinished. Your ancestors woke up with no career path and still belong to the world. They did not need to become someone. They already were someone. A hunter, a gatherer, a maker, a singer, a child, a parent, a joker, a healer, a storyteller, a friend. They did not retire into freedom. They began from it. Again, this does not mean the ancient world was paradise. Children died. Injuries mattered. Predators existed. Hunger came. Violence happened. Pain was real. But the modern myth is also false. The myth says we escaped constant misery. The deeper truth is sharper. We gained comfort, but lost time. We gained food storage, but lost movement through a living world. We gained cities, but lost the campfire circle. We gained careers, but lost the feeling that a day could belong to us. And maybe that is why we feel strange. Even when life is safer, even when food is nearby, even when a room is warm, even when entertainment never ends, something old inside us keeps asking, where is the tribe? Where is the fire? Where is the story? Where is the open day? Where is the silence that does not need to be filled? Where is the life that does not require proof? Because your ancestors were not waiting for the weekend. They were not saving themselves for retirement. They were not turning their souls into resumes. They were surviving, yes, but they were also living, making tools, making jokes, making art, making music, making bonds, making meaning. And maybe the most shocking thing is this: when they had enough, they stopped. Modern life almost never says enough. It says more work, more money, more status, more speed, more growth, more proof. But the ancient body remembers another law: enough food, enough fire, enough people, enough time. That was wealth, not luxury, not fame, not productivity. Enough. So tomorrow, when the alarm screams and you reach for the phone and the machine pulls your mind back into the race, remember this: for 99% of human history, nobody woke up to become productive. They woke up to stay alive, to stay connected, to make meaning, to be part of a group, to watch the sky, to tell the story, to sit by the fire, and to feel for a little while that the day belonged to them. Maybe the future is not about becoming more advanced. Maybe it is about remembering what kind of animal we are. Not a worker first, not a consumer first, not a machine for output. A human, ancient, social, restless, creative, afraid of the dark, drawn to the fire, hungry for food, but even more hungry for meaning. And maybe that is what your life is still asking for. Not more success, not more speed, not another ladder, but a way back to enough.